You feel like you're doing everything right. You track your food, you exercise, and you even go to bed a little hungry sometimes. But when you step on the scale, nothing. Or even worse, the number has actually gone up. It's incredibly frustrating, and it can make you feel like your progress has completely stalled, like your body is broken or your metabolism is just uniquely stubborn. But what if the problem isn't your metabolism, your workout, or your willpower? What if it's a single silent mistake? Studies show this one error causes people to be off on their daily calorie count by a shocking amount, often by 40 to 50%. That's not a small rounding error. That's nearly half of your food intake going completely unaccounted for. This one thing is the biggest reason why your calorie deficit isn't working and why the scale won't budge. So today, we're going to expose that mistake, show you the 5 sneaky ways it's wrecking your progress, and give you a clear, simple plan to fix it for good. At its core, the rule for weight loss is simple energy balance. To lose fat, you have to eat fewer calories than your body burns. That's a calorie deficit. In theory, it's straightforward. If you stay in a deficit over time, your body has to use its stored fat for fuel, and you will lose weight. So, when you think you're in a deficit, but you aren't seeing results, it feels like science itself has betrayed you. You start questioning everything. Maybe it's your hormones, maybe you're not exercising hard enough, or maybe you're just not built to lose weight. But the overwhelming reason this happens isn't some metabolic mystery. It's a tracking error. The problem is that we are all notoriously bad at estimating how much food we actually eat. We think we're eating one amount, but in reality, we're eating way more. That huge underreporting margin isn't because people are lying. It's because of a bunch of small, subconscious habits that add up to hundreds of extra calories a day. These untracked calories are more than enough to completely cancel out the 300 to 500 calorie deficit you worked so hard to create, turning it into maintenance or even a surplus. That's why you're stuck. And now, we're going to find exactly where those hidden calories are coming from. The first and maybe the sneakiest way you're underestimating your calories is through what I call BLTs. Bites, licks, and tastes. These are the calories that never sit on a plate, so our brain just decides they don't count. Think about it. You're cooking dinner and take a few tastes of the sauce to get the seasoning right. That could be 30 calories. You walk past the counter and grab a small handful of nuts. Not a real serving, just a little something. That's another 80 calories. Your kid doesn't finish their toast, so you eat the last crust to avoid waste. 40 more calories. You're at the office, and someone put out a bowl of chocolates. You have just one, because what's one going to do? That's another 70 calories. On their own, these things seem completely meaningless. They're so small and quick that we forget we even ate them, a sort of calorie amnesia. But let's add it up. The sauce, the almonds, the crust, and the chocolate, that's an extra 220 calories you ate without ever thinking about it. Do that every day, and you've just added over 1,500 calories to your week, wiping out what should have been 2 full days of your deficit. The trap here is thinking that if it's not a planned meal, it doesn't count. But your body's scoreboard logs every single calorie, whether you write it down or not. The solution isn't to become afraid of food. It's to become more mindful. Just for 1 week, try an experiment. Log everything that passes your lips. If you taste it, track it. If you lick the spoon, log it. This isn't about shaming yourself. It's about gathering honest data to see what's really going on. The second major source of hidden calories comes from what I call the portion distortion field. This is the huge gap between what we think a serving size is and what it actually is. Getting portions right is a cornerstone of managing your intake, but it's where most of us get it wrong. We've all gotten used to giant portions at restaurants where a dinner plate looks more like a platter. This has completely warped our idea of normal. For instance, a standard serving of pasta is about 2 ounces dry, which cooks up to about a cup. But how often do we serve ourselves 2 or 3 times that amount? A serving of peanut butter is 2 tablespoons, but many of us use a giant heaping spoonful that's closer to 4. A perfect example is a handful of nuts. Sounds healthy and controlled, right? But what's a handful? For most of us, it's way more than a standard 1-ounce serving. 1 ounce of almonds is about 23 nuts for around 160 calories. A big handful can easily be double that, putting you over 300 calories. That's not a tiny error. It's the same number of calories as a small meal. This is why eyeballing your portions, especially when you're starting out, is a recipe for stalling. Measuring cups are a step up, but even they can be misleading. The single most accurate tool for destroying portion distortion is a digital food scale. It might feel a little tedious at first, but it takes all the guesswork out of the equation. You will be absolutely shocked when you see what a true serving of cereal, rice, or oil actually looks like. It's an eye-opening experience that permanently recalibrates your brain, a skill that will help you long after you stop tracking. The third culprit is the easiest to miss because it doesn't involve any chewing: liquid calories. It's so common for people to track every piece of solid food they eat while totally ignoring the hundreds of calories they drink. Unfortunately, calories count even when they're drinkable. That morning latte from your favorite coffee shop? A medium with whole milk and a shot of syrup can easily pack 250–350 calories. That's a small breakfast right there, but you're probably having it with your breakfast. That healthy glass of orange juice is around 110 calories. A glass of wine with dinner adds another 125 calories or more. These drinks are especially tricky for 3 reasons. First, they go down fast and don't make you feel as full as solid food, so you don't eat less later to make up for them. Second, many are loaded with sugar, which can spike your blood sugar and trigger cravings. Third, we just think of them as drinks, not food, so they fly completely under the tracking radar. This also goes for condiments and sauces. That healthy salad turns into a calorie bomb when you drown it in creamy dressing, adding 200–300 hidden calories. Even the tablespoon of olive oil you use to sauté your veggies adds around 120 calories, a fact most people have no idea about. The fix is simple. Track your liquids just like you track your solids. Go for black coffee or tea. Use a measuring spoon for your oil instead of just pouring it from the bottle. And always read the label on sauces and dressings before you go to town with them. The fourth hidden mistake is falling into the health halo trap. This is the mental trap where we assume that because a food is labeled healthy, organic, or gluten-free, it must also be low in calories. That's just not true. These foods might have more nutrients, but they're often just as calorie-dense as their unhealthy cousins, and sometimes even more. Foods like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and dark chocolate are full of good stuff, but they are also extremely high in calories. We often eat too much of them with a clear conscience, thinking we're being virtuous. For example, a single avocado can have over 300 calories. A few tablespoons of chia seeds in your smoothie can add another 150. In terms of nutrition, they're great. But in terms of weight loss, a calorie is still a calorie. This halo effect also covers entire stores. We see something from a specialty health food shop and assume it must be good for weight loss. But a lot of those organic snacks, vegan cookies, and granola bars are loaded with sugar and fat to make them taste good, often packing in more calories than the regular versions. There's even a psychological effect where we tend to be less cautious with foods we see as good for us. To escape the health halo, you have to separate a food's nutritional value from its calorie count. A food can be the healthiest thing in the world and still stop you from losing weight if you eat too much of it. The solution is to look at all foods with the same objective eye. Read the label, weigh your portions. Acknowledge that even the best foods have calories, and they all count toward your daily total. And finally, the fifth way you sabotage your deficit is with the weekend wipeout. Shakir. This is a classic pattern. Someone is perfectly on point from Monday to Friday, building a solid calorie deficit, only to erase every bit of that hard work in just 2 days. Let's do the math. You maintain a 500-calorie deficit every day from Monday to Friday. By Friday evening, you're 2,500 calories in the hole. Awesome. You're on track to lose about a pound a week. But then the weekend hits. You feel like you've earned it. You have some drinks with friends Friday night, a big brunch Saturday, a nice dinner out, and a lazy Sunday with snacks and takeout. You might not even feel like you went crazy. Just a couple of cheat meals and some fun. But those calories add up at lightning speed. A single restaurant meal can easily top 1,500 calories. A few alcoholic drinks can add another 500. All of a sudden, your Saturday and Sunday aren't just at maintenance, they're in a huge surplus. It is shockingly easy to eat an extra 1,250 calories on both Saturday and Sunday. That's a 2,500 calorie surplus for the weekend. And just like that, it has completely canceled out the 2,500 calorie deficit you built all week long. Your net weekly deficit is 0. And you're left wondering why you're not losing weight when you were good 5 out of 7 days. The mistake is looking at your diet day by day instead of as a weekly average. Consistency through the whole week is what drives results. This doesn't mean you can never have a meal out. It just means you have to plan for it. If you know you're having a big dinner Saturday, have a lighter breakfast and lunch. Or even better, learn how to make mindful choices when you eat out so one meal doesn't undo days of hard work. So, how do we fix all this? You're going to run a 1-week diagnostic on yourself. For 7 straight days, and yes, that includes the weekend, you will become a meticulous scientist of your own eating habits. This isn't forever. It's a short-term mission to get accurate data and shatter the illusions that are holding you back. Here's your protocol. 1. Get a digital food scale. This is non-negotiable. For 1 week, you're going to weigh and measure everything you eat and drink. Solids in grams, liquids in milliliters or ounces. 2. Log before you eat. Use a tracking app and log the food before it goes in your mouth. This forces a moment of mindfulness and makes you accountable. 3. Be brutally honest. Log it all. The splash of creamer, the oil in the pan, the 3 fries you stole from your friend's plate, the wine you drank while cooking. No judgment, just data. Honesty is the only way this works. 4. Track the full week. You have to track Saturday and Sunday with the same focus as Monday. This is usually where the biggest surprises are hiding. At the end of these 7 days, you will finally have a true picture of your calorie intake. You'll probably be shocked at the difference between what you thought you were eating and what the numbers actually show. This isn't a failure, it's a breakthrough. You will finally see the real reason the scale hasn't been moving. And with that awareness, you can make the right adjustments to build a deficit that actually works. The biggest mistake stopping your fat loss is under-tracking your calories, an error that can be massive. You're likely doing this in 5 hidden ways. 1. The bites, licks, and tastes. Those small, mindless nibbles that really add up. 2. Portion distortion, guessing serving sizes instead of weighing them. 3. Liquid calories, forgetting to count calories from drinks, oils, and sauces. 4. The health halo, believing healthy food is low calorie and doesn't need to be measured. 5. The weekend wipeout, letting 2 days of overeating erase 5 days of progress. By running this 1-week experiment and tracking everything, you take back control. You go from being frustrated and confused to being clear and empowered. You'll finally be working with real numbers, not just wishful thinking. Remember, your body isn't broken. Your metabolism isn't fighting you. The rules of energy balance are real, and they work for everyone. You just needed the right data to make them work for you. Stop guessing, start measuring, and you will finally see the results you've been working so hard for.